Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. Movie Film Podcast, enjoy the show. Zach and Sean and Ryan are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.
Welcome to Movie Film. This is episode 16, brought to you by Mr. Boy Productions. My name is Zaki Hassan. I'm joined once again by my partners in crime, Brian Hall.
Hey, everybody.
And Sean Coyle.
Yippee-ki-yay, movie podcaster people. That'll be relevant in about 45 minutes.
I have a feeling you're planting seeds.
That's foreshadowing.
Oh.
Impressive.
Yes.
Well, gentlemen, how's it going? What's new? Brian, are you still locked away in the hyperbaric chamber of movie post-production?
I am. This is one of those few hours of the day I get out of there. And things are busy but well.
So
How about with you guys?
Are you at a point now, Brian, where you hate movies?
You know, I've been doing this for several years now, and you come across people that are very cynical and over it. And I am not. I am actually still pretty fascinated by the process, and sometimes I'll be in a mixing stage and see the movie, on a big screen and huge mixing boards and be like, man, movies. So, no, I'm still pretty inspired by it.
Well, that's a good thing, because on your downtime, you get to talk about movies.
Yes.
So, if you were sick of it by now, that would be bad for us, I have a feeling.
Yeah.
Sean,
one week maybe, depressed, world-weary Brian will show up. That'd be fun.
He'd be like, yeah, whatever.
It's been a while since we've seen him.
Yeah.
I like him. He's fun.
Yeah, he's got an interesting take on things.
He should have, like, an alternate name. Like Steve Urkel was, like, Stefan.
Yeah, right, exactly.
He'd be like Brian.
Yeah.
Brian with a Y.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian with a Y, exactly.
You'd have to point that out to people before you said something douchey. Sean, what about you?
What's Peter Parker in Spider-Man 3? I'll just comb what little hair I have left in front of my eyes. And
okay, I think you violated a rule of this show, which is that you used Spider-Man 3 for an analogy.
I accidentally proved it useful. I'm sorry.
Actually, I read an article earlier this week, which is kind of interesting, and it was the sequels that aren't as bad as you think.
That sounds familiar. Where did you see that?
It wasn't even an article, actually. It was like a video post that somebody did, and I just thought it was funny because the thrust of the piece was, hey, this movie isn't that bad.
Yeah,
it's not even like no. This is a looked over gem. No. It's like
right.
So it's like Indiana Jones 4. It's not that bad. Gremlins 2. Yes, that's the tone of the piece. I was like, that took effort. Like this person took effort to clack out this video and cut it together of just meh.
And is that your opinion on the video?
Well,
it's okay.
My opinion of the video is I agreed with a lot of what the guy was saying, where I think some stuff gets just piled on for no reason. And again, this is foreshadowing because we'll be coming back to this. Yes. We'll be coming back to this theme later. But it does feel like people. There's like this big, vast terrain between it sucked hard and it was awesome. There's this vast terrain in the middle where it's like meh, but people don't really like living there. And so,
right,
what I mean? So everything becomes an extreme. And I'm sure you guys know that there's probably more meh movies than there are awesome or awful.
Yeah. Well, I feel nervous saying that I think a movie is awesome because then I'm waiting for someone to be like, yeah, but... Yeah. And so it's like I feel the need to sort of bring up all the points that I feel like they're going to bring up first. It's like, yeah, I know this didn't happen and this girl was cast wrong about it. But it was awesome. I need to beat them to the punch.
That's hilarious. Sean, what about you? What have you been up to? Are you winding down on Tron now? Or are you looking to your next horizon there?
No, dude, Tron's way over.
Okay.
So yeah, I've just been kind of chilling, floating around Disney, doing whatever they've been asking me to do. I don't know if this is a...
Are you leading tours around the lot now?
I actually just cut. I don't know if this is spoiler territory or not, but I actually just cut a Phineas and Ferb episode that was written by Damon Lindelof.
Oh wow! I feel like there's a
and,
joke waiting to be said, but I'll refrain.
Well, yes, there is a joke, but it's a true story joke.
Oh, okay.
So they told me they're like, yeah, no, it's a big deal because Damon Lindelof wrote this episode, and I was like, oh, so it's got a great beginning and no ending. And it was just like stone cold stone faces. everywhere. People
Cut to
seriously,
Sean.
just like-
Cut to Sean, like on the unemployment line.
Right.
People just like, I don't understand. What do you mean? No ending? I don't follow
Oh
you.
no, that's hilarious. So are you working on Phineas and Ferb now, or is that just a one-off?
Somebody was on vacation, so I was just helping them out this week.
So you're a pinch hitter.
Yeah.
Well, that
yes.
works.
Cool.
There you go.
Yes, I'm the ringer. I am a ringer.
That works.
Yeah.
As long as the check clears, right?
Suddenly I feel a whole lot better about my life. Thanks, Zachy.
No problem. It's what I do.
How about you, Zach Man?
Well, I was in Chicago this past week. I went back home, and it's not even a home anymore. You know, it's funny for me to say that because I was in Chicago. I was visiting my folks. Hadn't been to Chicago in a couple of years, and I'm like driving around and just kind of getting the lay of the land again. And everything's different, you know. And I realized, like, you know, the mall I used to hang out at is different. And the street where I used to live, like, there's all this development and everything. And I was like, this isn't home anymore, you know. And I realized, like, it's been next week will be 10 years since I moved to California.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. So 10 years later, it's like, well, my wife is here, my kids are here, my life is here.
Yeah.
Chicago's not home anymore.
Yeah.
And it was this
Yeah.
weird realization. I was like, I needed some James Horner music in the background as I gazed skyward, and you know, a single tear rolled down my cheek. Actually, a tear did roll down my cheek yesterday because in California we don't have Dunkin' Donuts.
Yep.
So whenever I go to Chicago, I just stock up on chocolate glazed donuts.
Yeah.
And-
yeah. And anyone who's friends with me on Facebook, when I go home, they get all these pictures. It's not me in front of my childhood home or landmarks of Chicago. It's like me in front of Dunkin' Donuts several times. I think I did it several times.
I was only able to go one time, and I just stocked up. And then I came back, and my wife's like, "Oh, did you get any for me?" And they were finished. I was like, I would rather eat them all in one fell swoop than share them with anybody. That's what an ass I am. So the last bite, it was like Homer Simpson or something. The last bite, I ate it, and I realized, I was like, it's going to be 2 more years now before I get to have Dunkin' Donuts, and a little tear rolled down my cheek.
Well,
And then
they
some
are-
James
yeah.
Horner music kicked in again. So.
They're
Why
bringing
James Horner?
Dunkin' Donuts out to Los Angeles, at least.
Yes,
You're
I
lying.
read that, and so I
Both
hate
liars.
you guys even more now because of
You're
that.
both lying.
No,
Post
it's
some
true.
Pictures.
No,
Yeah,
you're both lying.
I had a lot of people forward that to me.
Yeah, me too. But what's funny is that, like, everywhere else outside, I don't think people realize that California is a really big state.
Yeah.
People are like,
It
look,
should
it's
be too.
you'll be
It
able
really
to go
should be too.
anytime. And it's like, well, Southern California is like 8 hours away, so it's not, you know.
It should be 2 states.
It should be. There'd be the good part and the bad part.
Oh,
I'll let you guys determine.
Let you guys decide.
But yeah, so that was fun. That was, you know, like I said, it was good to go back, but it was also a little bit jarring because you realize that, you know, you're older. that's the jarring part of it. I saw a thing on Facebook earlier today. It says I'm 30, but I still feel like I'm 20. Until I hang out with 20-year-olds, then I'm like, nope, never mind, I'm 30.
That's true.
Very true.
Which is what I feel every day. So there
We're
is.
going to Chicago in May, so I haven't been back since 2005, I think.
Oh my goodness.
So it's been a while. So
Now,
not quite sure what to expect.
well, you don't. You're. Do you still have family in Chicago?
Just my sister lives out there.
Oh, okay. So that'll be.
Yeah, mate.
Go ahead.
Yeah, mate. Huh? What?
It was just awkward silence there for a second. You're just taking it on.
For people listening who may not know, we're doing the show on the Google Hangout, so we can see each other now.
Yes.
And
we realize
it's
we don't
kinda
like
funny.
what we see. It's a little disappointing.
Sometimes we're always making faces, and we're not sure like who's supposed to be talking next. So, what would be cool is if we had like ejector buttons, so I could like hit the button and just see Brian like shoot out the chair. Yeah, see like that. Visual gag.
That's good. It's good that you're incorporating visual gags into our audio program.
Isn't it? Hey, watch what I'm doing. You see this, everybody?
So have you guys
Yeah, I
had a
know.
chance to see any movies or buy any Blu-rays or anything like that lately?
Shut up.
Well, I'll field this one then.
Yeah.
My answer is yes. Unlike Sean's. Yeah, I came across a deal this week, and it led to an epiphany.
Oh, okay.
I had a thought.
What's this?
Well, at one time I was thinking about how girls have all these things that they have to buy in their lives that I don't.
Too
and it's
many
like-
things. Too many things, by the way.
Yeah, there's like nail polish, and that's expensive.
And
like
shoes.
lotion, and
Yes,
shoes,
shoes.
and
Good
pedicures, and all these things that are, they add up, and they're things that
Pointless?
have nothing to do with my life, like money that I don't. Yeah, exactly. I'm putting this-
Useless.
a penis
Pointless.
stone or something.
Yes.
So anyway, I'm thinking, sometimes you're like, or I'm like, you drop $70 on what? Like 3 bottles of nail polish. And this week on Amazon, I saw that they were selling the Lethal Weapon series on Blu-ray for just under $40.
Buy them.
And this is a series I already own on DVD, mind you. And I think, well, I have to buy that one up. It's under $40. It's
just-
high definition.
It's just assumed.
Yeah.
It's a
Duh.
matter of fact that I must buy the Lethal Weapon that I already own for $40. And then that's when it hit me. For me, Blu-rays are my nail polish. So, it's like we all have our necessities.
It's
Or
well,
the things that we like to or spend money on, I guess. So
Yeah.
is that true for you guys?
Oh,
is
yeah.
that- yeah.
Absolutely.
well, I think just using Lethal Weapon as an example, I've owned it on VHS. I owned several different versions on DVD, and then now
Right.
I own the Blu-ray. So yeah, I mean, those. There's it's like there's certain movies that you just have to have in the best format.
No, I agree, and
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't plan on replacing everything that I own, but I mean, movies that I watch, once a year or at least twice. Like Lethal Weapon, I probably pull out like every other year or something, and I watch it. So it's like, yeah, those are the ones you're going to replace because you want to see them in the best possible way.
Right.
You know what's funny though is you're going to watch those movies more on cable than you will on Blu-ray.
Probably
True.
right. That's probably
Going
true.
back to our discussion from a few episodes back.
Yeah. Although I will say first of all that the movies look amazing on Blu-ray. It's just fantastic how good they look. But that also gets me thinking about how spoiled we are. Just as because when you really like big picture think about it, the difference between Blu-ray and DVD, while staggering on one level, is completely inconsequential on another.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? When I was deciding whether or not I was going to do this, I pulled out the original Lethal Weapon and I put it in my my PlayStation. And I looked at it and I was like, well, "This looks like garbage." I was like, "I have no choice. I am out of options." But it's funny. It's sad. You're right. It's sad that I feel that way about DVD because I remember when DVD first came into prominence.
Yeah.
It was a big deal because I remember trying back in the day in the 90s, trying to explain to my parents letterbox,
Right,
and
right.
why widescreen was better. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, you are missing image.
You don't
and they're
get
like,
it.
No, they're like, you're distorting the image when you put. I'm like, no, you're watching the distorted image. And like, so then it's like now DVD comes out and it looked like amazing because it was for the first time I could see the Star Wars trilogy
Right.
in 235. It was like you were seeing things I'd never seen before.
Right.
And then now with the high definition, I'm like, oh, DVDs look like poo.
Yeah.
What was your first DVD? Do you guys remember? First DVD you guys bought?
First
I do remember.
DVD.
Yeah.
My first DVD was Braveheart that you bought me, Sean. That you got me for my birthday.
There you go.
Is that why you
All right.
brought it up?
No, well, yes, maybe. It is now.
Yeah, you know what's funny though is that the first time I bought a Blu-ray player was a couple of years ago. I think it was 2010, and at the time I was talking to my wife's cousin who he bought it first. Like he and I, we're kind of compete with each other with the purchases we make, and so he bought a Blu-ray player, and of course I was like, oh well, I need to have one too. But he had been watching Smallville. He was working his way through Smallville, the complete series, and I would check in with him periodically, like, oh, how far are you or whatever? Are you on the second season, third season? And then he says, oh, I'm stopping now. And I said, does it suck now or something? Like, what's the deal? And he says, no, I can't watch DVD. It just to quote him, he was like, I was watching the DVD and it just made me want to throw up. And I was just like, well, this is why other countries hate us. Was this specific?
Reminds me of that story you told about your kids, Zachy, when you guys were staying at you were out of town staying at a hotel or something, and your kids were confused as to why they couldn't pause the TV.
Oh yeah. We were staying in SoCal. In fact, we were at a hotel. The kids are watching Saturday morning cartoons, and I'm like, hey, hit the showers, get ready. And my older one, he was 5 at the time. He's like, okay, I'll get ready. Can you pause the TV? And I said, well, we're in a hotel. I mean, you can't. They don't have a DVR. And he's kind of like, oh. He kind of huffs and puffs. And I'm like, first world problems. We can't pause the TV in our hotel room. Sorry, Your Highness.
Here's your crown, Your Majesty.
Yeah,
Queen of the Harpies.
I mean, you wonder if you're ruining your kids because it's like this morning. It's Saturday morning as we're recording this. It's Saturday night, and this morning the kids are like, "Oh, I want to watch, blank," and I just popped it in because it's on Netflix, right? So you just everything. Oh, I want to watch this. Boom, it's on Netflix. You watch another one. Boom, it's on Netflix. And it's like, are we ruining our kids a little bit by having things like Netflix?
Yeah, it may feel that way because we're not used to it or we think of it as a luxury, but that's just going to be their reality.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
By the way, speaking of Saturday morning cartoons, I think it's the CW. Mm. They're running Justice League Unlimited episodes now on Saturday mornings.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Which, again, I own all the seasons on DVD, but this morning I was flipping through the stations and I was like, yes, must watch.
That's funny.
Yeah. Still looks great, that show. Yeah.
All right, so let's get to some listener letters.
Let's do it.
Specifically, we have one listener letter, and I think it's very pressing. I think it's a good question. This is from Minaj Arafin, and he asks, exactly what went wrong with Waterworld? I liked it. Did Kevin Costner... Well, you don't have to laugh yet. He's not asking ironically. You're like laughing. Ha ha ha, you liked it.
No.
Did Kevin Costner dream big and make a great film, but the media just punished him, which snowballed into the film not doing so well? Brian, what do you think?
I think it goes back to what we were talking about with John Carter, our last episode or 2 episodes ago maybe, where it just feels like there's always a movie that people are ready to dogpile on.
Yeah.
And I don't remember it very well. I don't know if that, internet pages like Ain't It Cool and Joe Blow and all those things, I wasn't able to follow it as closely. But I just remember there was a lot of negativity around that movie.
Yeah.
For a lot of different reasons. Like it was like a runaway budget. It was Kevin Costner usurping the director. And so I think people were just ready to sort of anything that people would have been like, oh, that's kind of cool. Or like, what? It's about people with gills. You would think it would be cool. It's just like, but you're looking at it from a negative slant now. So you're like, people with gills?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, you could almost do that to any movie that you like. If you looked at it through a negative way, you could think of it differently.
Right.
Yeah. First of all, I don't think Waterworld is that bad. I think Waterworld is, again, it's one of those. It's part of that big tract of movies that we were talking about. I do feel like it came out at a moment when people were just looking to tear Kevin Costner down.
Right.
Because he'd had a bunch of early successes clumped right together, and then he had a few stumbles, and it feels like Waterworld was the chance for people to pounce.
Right.
Right? Because right around the same time he did The War, which didn't do so well. He did Wyatt Earp.
Right, yeah.
He did Wyatt Earp.
Yeah.
He should have just avoided movies beginning with W. Really, that's the takeaway from the Kevin Costner in the mid '90s. I do know that
Dances with Wolves.
Old.
Dances with Owls. That would have been better.
Yeah.
Dances with Wolves is one of those movies that people have like retroactively decided they hate.
Yeah.
Like Titanic. Yeah.
Like Titanic, yeah. You know, and in the case of Dances with Wolves, I think they hate it because Goodfellas didn't win.
Right.
Right.
Right, and this is also
Right.
kind of the stupidity of the eight. Like normally you'd be like, oh, Goodfellas, it's a good movie. Oh, Dances with Wolves, it's a good movie too. But like because one beat the other, it's like that one's a piece of crap.
Yeah, right.
And that one is awesome. You know, so that's another weird hang up that we have. Now Waterworld was directed by Kevin Reynolds,
Right.
who had previously teamed with Kevin Costner on Robin Hood.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Right.
and something else too, it feels like.
With Kevin Costner?
Yeah, it feels like. Am I misremembering?
What else did he do? The Hatfields and the McCoys?
Well, that's later.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
that's
later,
like 2
but
decades
yeah.
later.
Last year, yeah.
Yeah. So, but they had like a big falling out during the making of Waterworld, and supposedly, like Kevin Costner basically edited it himself, and you know, it was like a major cluster mess, you know.
Yeah. He's like, more water. I think what's kind of funny about Waterworld is, every theme park has sort of like their stunt spectacular, like Six Flags has Batman, or at least they did in Chicagoland area. And Universal Studios Hollywood has Waterworld, the stunt show.
Even now,
And
even today.
Today, to this day. And I just saw it like a year ago for the first time. And
Wow.
it's actually a really good show. There's like some awesome stunts and people jumping off from things really high and jet skis and whatnot, but explosions. But it's just funny because it's based around this movie that I don't think anyone is familiar with. So it's like, the villain will show up, and it's like audience participation. So like imagine if you're doing a Star Wars show, Darth Vader would show up and everyone would go, oh no, Darth Vader's here. But then it's like the Dennis Hopper character comes out, and it's like you're supposed to be like, oh no, it's General Grog or whatever his name is, but it's just like, who? He comes out like, hey everybody, and everyone's like, is that? Oh, that's the villain. Like, nobody knows who that character is. You know what I mean?
Sounds like the premise of a Simpsons episode or something.
It really does.
It does. It
That's
totally
hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, I mean, because of that stunt show and all the merchandising and stuff, Waterworld was not the big flop that people assume it was or think it is. It ended up doing okay.
But I think because it was like the most expensive movie of all time at the time.
Yeah, at the time, yeah.
I think just the fact that it didn't blow open box office records or anything like that, like it didn't blow the doors off. I think that was all the more sort of fuel for the fire.
Yeah.
For people to just rag on it. Like,
Yeah.
most expensive movie ever made. It should have made $1 billion.
Well, I remember before it even came out, they were calling it Fish Tar and Kevin's Gate. I mean, it's like they had the headlines already written.
Yeah, exactly. Like we were saying.
It's like the headlines. It's like, when Howard the Duck came out, they were all ready to go with Howard the Duck lays an egg and Howard the Duck is
Right.
foul. Well, that movie deserved those headlines, granted.
Right.
But they were like hoping it would suck, so that they would be able to. They were like, "Oh, thank God it sucks because we've got the."
Now we
headlines."
can, yeah.
Now we can, hold fire. Okay, let them fly. Actually, we were talking earlier about how content has changed and things like that, and I was thinking about how things like Netflix. Nowadays, you have original content exclusively through Netflix.
Yes.
Yeah.
And does that amortize the cost a little bit? Does that amortize the risk? So does it make something like Waterworld more tenable maybe when you have something like Netflix could potentially team up with studios? I mean, like you have all this original programming, right, on Netflix. Like there's this new show on
House of Cards.
House of Cards, right?
Yep.
Have you guys been watching that?
I've seen the pilot episode.
What do you think of it, Brian?
It's good. It's good. I've talked to people who are like 6, 7, 8 episodes in, and they're all pretty hooked on it. What I took away just from one episode is It was good. It was really well done. I was engaged. Like, I realized I was watching like quality television, but at the same time, it didn't feel like it was, necessarily breaking any new ground.
Okay.
So it like didn't grab me. You know what I mean? Where something like Breaking Bad, where you're like, what am I watching? Like, this is crazy, and it just gets its hooks in you.
Right.
It didn't feel like that, but you could tell it's a show like of quality.
Okay. So now this is Netflix's first original show.
I think it's its second.
What's the first?
They did another one, and I do not remember what it's called, but I remember the bus posters.
Was it the one with Steven Van Zandt? Was it his show? Or
Yeah, like a mobster gets relocated to like
Yeah.
Finland or something. I
Is
don't know.
that Netflix or is that Hulu?
That was Netflix.
That was Netflix.
It was Netflix.
But
Okay.
Did we answer Minaj's question, by the way?
About Waterworld?
We're good on that, right?
I think so.
You're welcome, Minaj.
Let's assume we did and move on.
Well, no, yeah, good.
No, well, I was just gonna, I mean, I think this is an interesting question about whether Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime, whether they are viable alternatives for network shows.
Well, what's funny about it is, like I was saying, how there's like all these people in my office who are all these episodes ahead, and I'm only on episode 1. When you release all these episodes at once, you sort of eliminate the opportunity for a water cooler discussion, because you could fall like, oh, I'm one episode behind.
Jeez.
Hold on, but at least there's like certain things you can discuss.
Why bother getting up in the morning? Ugh. Why bother going to work?
That's true, actually, because when you think
You're
about
the guy that we get quiet around when you approach the water cooler, John. And then he leaves and we go back to talking about our shows.
Hey, shut up.
No, but when you think about it, right, the traditional model of putting shows out was you'd have a few new episodes, a few reruns, a few new episodes throughout the season, right? And then a few years ago, 24, with its second season and on, they went just the entire season uninterrupted.
Right.
Yeah.
And that changes things. And then now we have Netflix saying, "Hey, here's the whole season. Boom."
Right.
In
Go.
one-
Have at it.
Yeah, it changes the consumption model, and I'm wondering if that changes the expectations people have.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, no, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Brian.
I was going to say, speaking of that, I'm passing on this information third hand or whatever. I feel like I heard this on NPR or something, but they were saying that Netflix decided to do this show because they can tap into all the statistics of what people are watching,
Right.
obviously, because you have things recommended
Yeah.
to you after you watch something. And they saw people like Kevin Spacey, they like David Fincher movies, and they like political thrillers. And
Wow.
then they did this show. So
It's funny. It's a show that I don't want to watch based on those three premises.
Well, and from what I've heard, I saw like a poll somewhere, and Netflix said that they asked people, does having this show, House of Cards, on Netflix make you want to keep your Netflix subscription? And over 80% said yes.
Is that right?
So, clearly, this is a step in the right direction for them. They've had a really rough go of it.
Yeah, yeah, because they tried to separate out, and they became Flickster or something like that, Quickster.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
Yes. And then of course they have more Arrested Development coming up too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this spring, I think,
Yeah.
coming up close. Yeah, so and that's another show too where people binge watch that show. You know what I mean? And so now they're gonna, for the first time, be able to do that with new episodes.
Right. Well, it seems like a marriage that's very tactically well constructed. It's the right audience for that.
Right.
It's interesting how the whole landscape of everything is changing. Because even YouTube has original content now as well.
That's right.
And like a lot of these production companies, they back these people's channels, and they basically advertise and promote awareness to the point where these people get like millions of subscribers or millions of viewers for their videos. And like I was reading about these kids. I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but they do like these little Flash animated cartoons, and they have like 3 million subscribers to their channel, and these kids are making like $50,000 a month just sitting in their living room.
Oh man.
Wow.
And like MTV and all these people have come to them and been like, hey, like, you know, we'd love to produce your show and put it on MTV. And these kids are like, well, why? We're making way more money now than you could ever pay us.
Before you ruin it.
Yeah.
Wow. And we own it all, you know?
Yeah.
Wow, that's something.
So it's like it's really a game changer. What's going on right now?
Well, it's also a viable alternative to network, because what we're seeing, in my opinion, is the implosion of TV networks. I mean, just a few weeks ago, NBC premiered a new show called Do No Harm, which is apparently about a doctor and the evil face on his hands.
Yeah, those billboards are atrocious.
If you look at the billboards, they tell you nothing about the show.
Yeah.
But that show premiered with the lowest ratings in history for a series premiere. This is true. For a series premiere on one of the big four networks, the lowest rated series premiere ever.
Like ever?
Ever.
Forever? Forever?
Yeah.
Man, that's... I mean... I don't recall seeing anything for it other than those billboards, but those billboards made me want to walk in the opposite direction of that show.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like the most cliche. I have not seen it.
Yeah.
I actually feel like I heard that it wasn't that bad, but it's just like, it's a doctor, but he's not who you think he is. Like, why in the world would I want to see that when
It's
there's
like a
all these
Jekyll and
other
Hyde thing,
shows?
right?
And,
Yeah,
And if he wasn't a doctor,
personality
he'd
or
be a
something.
lawyer. If he wasn't a lawyer,
Right.
he'd be a cop, you know.
Right.
exactly. And if you wasn't any of those things, it wouldn't be a show.
Yeah. They got canceled after 2 episodes. So they had the first horribly rated episode, and then they had the second one. I think the second one they just went to commercial and then just never came back. They just went to commercial.
You guys think if that show was on CBS, it would have been a hit?
Probably. I'm amazed. It doesn't even matter if it's like looks good or not. If it's on CBS, it's a hit.
I feel like CBS at this point just throws a bunch of consonants together because they're like CSI, NCIS, JXM, CMU, you know, just whatever, and throw a city after it.
Yeah.
I mean, I just read that they have a spin-off coming up of NCIS Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this would be the spin-off of the spin-off of the spin-off
Yeah.
of the spin-off, I think. Because it started with JAG. And then JAG led to NCIS, and then NCIS led to the LA one, and then so that's, I mean, at some point here's what I'm hoping is at some point the spin-off of NCIS Los Angeles spins off a show called JAG. And it's just this loop. It's like it's been so long they forgot that there was actually a show at the beginning.
The universe just blinks out of existence.
That's right.
You just put like a little laid an egg in my brain right now. I got it. I'm going to pitch a movie to you right now. It's about competitive plate spinning.
Okay.
And I see it starring probably Steve Carell, probably Jason Bateman, and it'll be called Spin-Off.
Ah, nice.
Thanks, Zachy. I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna.
So since NCIS was spun off of JAG, would that be a JAG off?
Oh.
Oh, Zachy wins this episode.
Good night, everybody. I'll catch you guys later. I'll let you guys wrap up. You can shut the door on your way out.
I think the great thing about these spin-off shows, though, it opens the door for, you know, a lot of comebacks of like these cool, you know, 80s and 90s movie and TV icons that we all liked growing up.
Yeah.
And now they're making these comebacks on these shows, like LL Cool J and...
Come on, nobody liked
Cool
Chris
J.
O'Donnell. Nobody liked Chris O'Donnell. Let's be real here. Come on.
I keep waiting for like Michael Keaton or Robert Patrick or somebody to show up as the lead in one of these shows, you know?
I'm actually well. I mean, Robert Patrick was on the X-Files for a little while there, but I'm actually amazed that Michael Keaton has not done any TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would assume it's just because he doesn't need to. Like, he's just chilling. But I mean, I think he would be a great fit on some kind of a show, some kind of a CSI type show. You know, I could totally see that.
Totally.
One last question here. It's not even a question. It's just a statement. Is Parker Lewis?
Can't lose. Synchronized swatches.
Now, I'll be honest. I have no memory of this show. But everyone
I do.
from our vintage seems to remember it very fondly. Brian, was Parker Lewis popular, or are we told it was popular?
I'm too young to know that, but at the time, I have no idea if it was really popular or not. But I remember liking it. I thought it was really funny. I have the only memories I have of it are as like a 10-year-old. So now that I'm older, I wonder, was this like some sort of like answer to Ferris Bueller? You know, where
Apparently, right? I mean, it was basically a ripoff of Ferris Bueller.
I guess I really don't remember, but I just remember he had like the friend who was like a mix between like Cameron and Data from the Goonies. Remember, he wore like a trench coat and he was like the
That's
geeky
right.
one. And
That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
I
it's
only remember the end credits of the show. Like I would always if I was tuning into Batman or something, it would always be like the end credits of Parker Lewis, and then the show I really wanted to watch. You know?
Yeah, or it would lead into the Simpsons. There's a lot of like Fox
okay,
shows I remember only
Yeah.
because they would lead into the
Fox
Simpsons,
Sunday.
like
Yeah.
Drexel's Class.
Do you speaking of Ferris Bueller? Do you remember Ferris Bueller the series?
I do actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Jennifer Aniston was on that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I remember that came either before or after the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, so that's why I saw it.
What I remember about that show is that it basically started by having the main character of Ferris Bueller, the show, like rip on the movie.
Yeah, I think I only remember that because of something you sent me.
Okay.
I don't remember that actually happening, but you sent me the video. I think I saw.
Yeah. I mean, and I was like, well, that's not a way to win over fans of the movie by being like, yeah, the movie, like this is real, the movie isn't. You know,
Right.
it's odd. So no great shock that show didn't last.
Yeah.
But moving on, so got some Hollywood headlines to discuss.
Right on.
We talked a few episodes ago about how much we all liked Skyfall, and latest word out of James Bond land for James Bond 24 is that Sam Mendes will probably be back to direct the next one. It's looking better than 70% certain that he will be back. What do we think about that?
I think that's great.
Cool.
Yeah, clearly, I mean, he made a good-looking, fun James Bond. I mean, the most popular James Bond movie, right?
Yeah.
I hope he brings back Roger Deakins too.
Yeah.
Yeah, to do cinematography. Yeah, I just rewatched Skyfall a couple days ago, actually on the airplane, so I was really able to appreciate it again. And I mean, it really does hold up. I mean, it's a very well made movie. So I'm glad that the Bond people are, you know, they're going out of their way to keep, you know, somebody with a rep. And have him leading the charge there, because generally speaking, the people who do the Bond movies are kind of like second tier directors, or
Right.
even third tier. I mean, they're all fine, you know, like Lee Tamahori, he's fine. Martin Campbell is obviously a good director, but they're not. They don't. Well,
He's capable of good things, but
he's
GoldenEye,
good.
He did GoldenEye, right?
He did GoldenEye. He did Casino Royale.
And then he did Green Lantern. And he
okay,
also did Vertical Limit.
He did Vertical Limit. So he has like a 50%.
It's like poo poo, awesome poo. Yeah. That's his his
He's
resume.
capable.
Poo
You know,
poo,
he
awesome
did.
poo.
Martin Campbell did a movie that I think is underrated. It's called No Escape, which stars Ray Liotta as a guy. Have you guys seen that? Heard of it?
No.
Yeah, it's like a sci-fi movie. It's Ray Liotta on like a penal colony in the future. Lance Henriksen is in it. It's one of these movies that like nobody remembers, but it's actually a pretty good flick. And I believe, and he did the Zorro movies, which I also like. Martin Campbell did. He did
Oh, that's right.
He did both. I mean, those are, you know, they're well directed.
Those are good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, I think Sam Mendes, by virtue of being kind of, you know, an Oscar winner and everything else, he brings more credibility. So I'm glad to see
Yeah.
that attached to the Bond flicks.
Yeah, for sure.
Aren't they reuniting the Bond actors on the Oscars or something? Isn't that
Well,
the plan?
that's what I'm hearing. Yeah, and we're recording this one night before the Academy Awards, but supposedly they're going to have some kind of a 50th anniversary tribute, and the plan is to get every single Bond actor on stage at the same time, which has never happened before.
Oh.
But what I heard is supposedly Pierce Brosnan told TMZ or somebody, like, well, they're going to have to do without one actor, meaning himself.
What?
And I'm kind of like, really, Pierce?
Get over it.
Yeah, lame.
Like, if Sean Connery shows up, if he can find time to get away from the golf course, then I'm sure Pierce Brosnan can find time to get away from whatever the hell he's doing or not doing.
Is
Yeah.
George Lazenby still around?
George Lazenby, I think, was sitting at his phone, just waiting.
Maybe that's what Pierce Brosnan means. Maybe he's going to, like, kidnap George Lazenby and hide him
Oh
in
my
a closet
gosh.
somewhere. Yeah.
That's,
We're through the looking glass, gentlemen.
We've unearthed the plan. That's so that's exciting. Other director news: Rupert Wyatt is on board to direct The Equalizer. You guys remember The Equalizer, the TV show?
No.
I am aware of that title, but I have never seen an
Yes.
episode.
And the theme song and the opening credits.
You guys
The theme
depress
song?
me. Every time I talk
Really?
to you, you depress me.
Shut
Eh.
up.
It wasn't a theme song so much as a theme music.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
Do,
just
do,
shut
do,
up.
do, 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 do.
That was basically it, yeah. Well, okay, so obviously I need to explain to you, you Luddites, what The Equalizer. The Equalizer is one of the greatest 80s TV shows, which that sentence sort of negates itself, because when you say it's the greatest 80s TV show, it's kind of it ends up not meaning much.
The
But,
greatest 80s TV show that no one I know talks about?
Yeah.
well, there's a
Or
lot
remembers?
of those. There's a lot of those.
Better than Cheers and The Cosby Show and A-Team and Simon & Simon and Magnum P.I. and Knight Rider and... You want me to keep going?
Alf.
Alf.
Is it better than Alf, Zachy?
I think many things are better than Alf.
Better than Perfect Strangers? No.
Do you enjoy hurting me? Anyway, Equalizer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so The Equalizer, the premise of the show is that you have this MI6 agent, Robert McCall, played by Edward Woodward, and he's basically James Bond, essentially. He spent a lifetime being a James Bond type guy, and when all is said and done, he's just tired of that life. So he comes to New York to try to make amends. And what does he have? He has a particular set of skills, just like Liam Neeson. And so he puts an ad in the paper that says, "Is your life out of balance? If so, come to The Equalizer," something like that. And he gives his services for free to people who need help. And that's the premise of the show. So every episode he would help people. And like I said, it was this older guy. It was Edward Woodward. And the thrill of the show was to see this old guy beating up young people. It's like Matlock. You see Matlock put him away. You see The Equalizer beat him up. So either way, these shows were primarily for old people to watch young people.
It was a good time to be a senior citizen
Exactly.
in the 80s. Murder, She Wrote.
Murder, She Wrote. Who everywhere she went, there was a murder.
Yeah, I was like, I would never want to be friends with Angela Lansbury.
If you saw Jessica Fletcher coming at you, you should have turned around and gone the opposite direction. Made no sense. But anyway, so they're making the show into a movie, which makes sense. I mean, there's a certain the premise I think lends itself well to a movie, and I'm sure there's some cachet with the title. And they've cast, of course, the only actor you'd think of when you say an elderly British gentleman, and that's Denzel
Dame Judi
Washington.
Dench. Oh.
Not Dame Judy, although she was she was
your
on the
answer
short
for
list.
everything,
She was on the short list, I'm sure.
She'd be like, "You've been equalized, love."
She's Brian's answer for everything.
No, it's going to be Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
So Brian, that's
Okay.
going to sound a lot like
He'll be like, "Excuse me, you want to turn down that radio? You gonna turn down that radio? Because if you don't turn down that radio, you're gonna be equalized." Okay. Aha.
and scene.
You drifted into like Christopher Walken territory in the middle there.
Would you
Why-
mind turning down the radio?
Go be equalized. Yeah.
Well, Christopher Walken with a stop at Luis Guzman.
Yeah. Turn down the radio, please. That's what?
That's your Luis
Great
Guzman
Luis
impression.
Guzman.
I guess. I don't know.
That's Brian's Luis Guzman impression. Very nice. But it's going to be directed by Rupert Wyatt, who he did The Escapist, which is really good. If you guys haven't seen that, very
I've
well
seen The
done.
Escaping.
not to be confused with the escaping. Yeah, and that's like the definition of an inside joke, Sean. That's like a joke that two people, neither of whom listened to the show, would laugh at. So that's job well done right there.
You're welcome.
Yes, and no, but he also did, of course, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which he was supposed to do the sequel for, but he will not be back for that because he's out of balance and he needs to be equalized.
Oh.
So there's that. Other sequel news: we have Fast and Furious 7 coming up. After Fast and Furious 6, which is coming out this summer, and apparently the big, I guess, would this be a spoiler? I guess it would be a spoiler, kind of, right?
No.
Bring it.
Supposedly the end. Be aware, folks, if you're not wanting Fast and the Furious 6 spoiled. But it at the end of the movie will reveal the bad guy for the next Fast and the Furious, and that's going to be Jason Statham again, supposedly.
Not Judi Dench.
Not Judi Dench.
Okay.
Oh.
So I think their goal with these movies is to just get every bald action guy and have them drive cars, because you've got The Rock and Vin Diesel, Jason Statham.
So at the end of 7, they're going to reveal Bruce Willis and be like, let's ride.
Bruce Willis, and then in the 8, it's going to be Patrick Stewart.
Nice.
Yeah, just... now again, I keep meaning to... I actually have... I recorded Fast and Furious 5, and that's on my DVR right now, based entirely on your recommendation. So
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. It's good fun. Sometimes there's dumb fun.
Yeah.
This is like... It is dumb, but
which
it's
we'll get to in a little
fun.
You kind of don't need to watch the first 4, I don't think. Well, I guess the end of 6 is going to tie into 3, right? Tokyo Drift?
Wait.
Is that the third one? I think Tokyo Drift was the third one.
Yeah.
But supposedly the end of 6 ties in to part 3, but it doesn't matter. You don't really need to watch the first 4. Just start with 5 and you'll kind of get what the franchise
Well,
is.
First one's good. I like the first one.
I saw the first one, and I don't really remember it.
It's Point Break with cars.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was, right. So it's moved past that, you would say.
Yeah. Now they're just like Ocean's 11 with cars.
Right.
But either way,
It is.
it's
like a caper.
blank
It's like a
with
caper
cars.
you gotta- Yeah.
Yeah,
totally.
they're like Guns for Hire with cars.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I guess it could be good with Jason Statham then, you know?
Yeah. And 5, the one you're about to watch, that has really good set pieces. Like, the ending is really cool.
Yeah.
The last, 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So.
I will.
And then it looks like from the trailer we saw, the Super Bowl trailer, we already talked about it, but I mean, it looks like they just keep finding ways to up
Yeah.
car action. I mean, seeing that car jump out of the nose of a crashing plane, you know, I mean, it's like, it's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Somewhat related to having stars in movies, I read an interesting article earlier this week that asks the question of whether movie stars are dead, having been replaced by sort of icons. So in other words, we don't go to see to movies to see stars anymore. We go to see characters. And I thought this was an interesting question.
Okay.
And I'll let you guys chime in just 1 second. The most interesting part about all of this that I found, and this article, by the way, is by Christopher Rosen for Huffington Post. He says that one of the only movie stars we have now is Channing Tatum.
Good.
I wanted to get you guys' take on that.
I don't know. I mean, the definition of what a movie star is, it doesn't feel like it applies to right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I think of a movie star, I think of George Clooney, I think of Brad Pitt, and they don't necessarily have successful movies all the time, but they just have this sort of aura where they show up and they're a presence. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Well, it's a question of, do you go to see a movie because an actor is in it, or do you go to see a movie because an actor is playing a character?
Right.
You know, I mean,
It's interesting. I don't think I go to movies. I used to be I would go and see every Tom Cruise movie or every Tom Hanks movie or whatever. But I don't know if I'm like that anymore.
Yeah, I don't know that I am either.
I think it's more, what's
What's the
what
premise?
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are there any actors left other than Channing Tatum?
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. So Johnny Depp and Channing Tatum are on that higher tier. Who knew we'd be
George
having this
Clooney.
conversation about Channing Tatum? I just find that funny.
George Clooney.
See, I would disagree about Clooney because I don't think Clooney is a draw in everything.
But I think that he sort of transcends the movie, you know, like his personality and just his star power, I think, is, you know, sort of larger than life.
But I would say, here's my thing about Clooney. I think Clooney will never have a hard time finding work, and he'll always be able to do something. But I think part of that is because he produces his own stuff, and part of that is because he's just a super, super nice guy. So
Right.
people like working with him. But I don't think, other than the Ocean's movies and whatnot, I don't think people are like, let's go see the new George Clooney movie.
Right. No.
You know?
I am.
I think Johnny Depp is like that, but it took him a long
Yes.
time to get there.
Yeah.
You know, I think Robert Downey to some extent is like that now.
He's become that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Recently.
again, who would both of those guys be without their signature characters?
That's
Right,
very
right.
true.
You know, it's like Hugh Jackman, right? Like Hugh Jackman, who is Hugh Jackman without Wolverine?
Yeah.
And he knows it. I mean, I read a quote from him where he was talking about Russell Crowe, and he's like, one of the best things Russell Crowe did for me was to turn down Wolverine. You know, I mean, it's like he knows that outside of Wolverine, he's not a huge draw. I mean, what Hugh Jackman movies have done well, really well, other than the X-Men?
Yeah.
Real Steel. Yeah.
Real Steel did well, but even that, like, it didn't do huge. You know,
Yeah.
it was okay.
Didn't make
Box
much of an impact.
Yeah, it's a good flick though.
And somewhere Dougray Scott is just weeping.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
A couple
man.
of his own tears.
That's what Dougray Scott is like the Pete Best of the whole X-Men thing when you think about it. I mean, he was like a week away from his career.
Yeah.
Although his consolation prize is that he's married to Claire
Married
Forlani.
to yeah, so he did all right.
that's you know, the arc
Good
of the
on
universe
you,
is
Dougray.
long, but it bends toward
Good on
justice. Yeah. Now we talk about marquee stars and people having value. This is kind of interesting. This news broke earlier this week that the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles reboot that we talked about a few episodes ago, it's not dead. It's continuing. It's still happening. Sean, I'm sure much to your chagrin.
Yes. I think the animated series that's on Nickelodeon right now is sort of the perfect incarnation of what a Ninja Turtles series should be.
Oh, but wait, Michael Bay has a surprise up his sleeve because he's got some real star wattage signed on for Ninja Turtles. And that star wattage is none other than...
Dame Judi Dench.
That's right. Wait, no. Yes, Dame Judi Dench as M after Skyfall. She's going to be like the Weekend at Bernie's version of that character.
Spoiler!
Yeah, well, oops. No, Megan Fox. Megan Fox is going to be starring in Michael Bay's Ninja Turtles.
Yes, I've heard of him.
Him being Megan Fox?
What? No,
You know-
seriously, Megan Fox is going to be in Ninja Turtles?
Yes,
As
she's.
April O'Neil, I'm assuming.
Well, they haven't said. I mean, but
Stupid.
yeah, one would think, right?
That's awful.
Now, Sean, why is that awful? You're the expert.
She has no personality. She can't act. I mean, it's a Michael Bay movie, so it doesn't surprise me.
You know the weird thing about Megan Fox is that, I mean, she's attractive, of course, but like even when the first Transformers came out, I was like, yeah, okay, but I didn't understand how there was so much hype about her.
Yeah.
You know, because if we're just talking about Transformers, I thought that what's her name?
The blonde?
Wasn't she in that movie, Brian, that you worked on?
Oh, Rachel Taylor. Yeah,
Rachel
yeah.
Taylor, yeah. She was nicer.
Yeah. Yeah, Megan
Yeah.
Fox has those stubby little thumbs. You know, her little stubby thumbs.
Because people are looking at her thumbs.
Weird. Grosses me out, man.
Or she has toe thumbs?
You know,
Yes.
I love that we're like picking apart.
I know. Seriously, this is pathetic. Yeah.
It's like gorgeous person.
Should be
But
great
no,
if it was over toe thumbs.
I feel like, you know, it sort of makes me roll my eyes initially,
Uh-huh.
but then I'm like, you know what? Of course. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? They're not going to make the version of Ninja Turtles I want to see.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
of course they're not. You know what I mean? They're not going to make the Dark Knight Ninja Turtles.
Right.
And it's like, whatever. They got to get a hot girl. They're going to find some director who halfway knows what he's doing so Michael Bay can push him around.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? We know what we're getting.
Hmm.
So, it is what it is.
Speaking of Ninja Turtles,
Yes.
before we get too far off the topic, have you guys ever wondered, you know, what Ninja Turtle you might be?
No, but go
It's
on.
crossed my mind. It has. It's crossed my mind.
I just
Well,
assumed I
like-
was Leo and I moved on.
Would you like to take the quiz real quick? Yes,
I
we do.
suppose.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I've actually taken this twice today, and both times came up. Both times came up Leonardo. So
I thought you were talking about what a busy day you had.
I know.
I've just been up since 5. That's all. Doing this. All right. And those of you who want to play along at home, this is according to the Nick website, so it's pretty official.
Good Lord.
Okay.
All right.
Complete this sentence. I got 2 windows up, so you guys can both answer. Complete this sentence. I am a genius, a warrior, a leader, a friend.
Friend.
A friend, yeah.
You both said friend?
Yes.
Okay. What do you fight for? Honor, love, fun, or peace?
Peace.
Selfishness.
Zaggy fights for peace. Brian?
I do.
Love.
Brian fights for love.
Aw.
What is the strongest part of your body? Your heart, your mind, your fist? Heart, mind, fist, stomach.
Stomach.
Heart.
Okay, Brian, you know what?
What is
Hey,
the
ladies.
first?
And his number is 555.
What is the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning? Review the day's plans? Write down your dreams? Do push-ups, sit-ups, and pull-ups? Or go back to sleep?
Go back to sleep.
Hey,
Goodbye,
guys.
ladies.
Having lived with Brian, I answered that one before he even finished.
Yeah.
Brian and his brother, the Hall brothers, could sleep through a nuclear holocaust. Wake up and just be like, "Oh, what happened, guys?"
Yeah. Where'd everybody go? Uh-oh.
If you weren't busy saving the world, which job would you choose? Inventor, painter, sculptor, or comedian?
Comedian.
Comedian.
Whoa, we're almost done here. Obviously, you love greens, but what is your favorite fruit? Blueberry, strawberry, orange, or plum?
I see where this is going. Well, I'm going to be honest, even though I know where this is going to lean, but blueberry.
Plum.
Plum. Brian said blueberry.
Blueberry.
Yeah, okay. And one more.
That'd be a good nickname for your balls. Your blueberries.
I'm pretty sure you're not the first person who's ever thought of that, Brian.
Really?
Yeah.
On this show.
I guess my job as comedian is not going to go so well.
Last but most importantly, not least, what is your favorite pizza topping? Sardines and marshmallows?
Oh, jeez.
Genetically modified seaweed? Raw meat? Or I don't care as long as it's on time?
The last one, I guess.
Raw meat.
Healthy.
All right.
The healthy option.
Yeah.
Brian likes salmonella on his pizza.
Well, here we
maybe
go.
it's
You
sushi?
ready?
Wait, Brian,
Yeah.
we're going to find out who we are.
Okay, here we
You
go.
guys have a guess as to who you are?
Yes.
Who do you think, Brian?
Raphael or Michelangelo?
Brian is Michelangelo.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm going
Any guesses?
to say Michelangelo.
Zachy is also Michelangelo.
Hey, we're a bunch
Okay.
of party dudes.
Now I must
Oh.
kill Brian
Oh, there can only be one.
and absorb his essence.
Wasn't that worth our time?
It really was not.
But was it worth our listeners' time? That's
It really was not. Very quickly, though, just talking about movie stars, I thought this ties in somewhat. This is from The Onion earlier this week, and it says, "World doesn't even know who to admire anymore after Tom Hanks murders 5." But here's the best part. This is from a random message board earlier this week as well. The subject is, "Just heard bad news about Tom Hanks." And the post is, "I'm so desperate and really want to hear that what I read this morning is just a made-up fake story. It was on The Onion, American news source. Tom Hanks kills 5 people. He's my favorite actor, so please tell me it's not true."
Is that Tom Hanks that wrote that?
Man.
I read that and I don't know. I laughed harder at that.
I hope the person didn't do anything drastic.
I have to stop Tom Hanks.
came
Seriously,
here.
The quiz told me I was Leonardo. I must lead.
As we do each week, we talk about Star Wars news. Brian,
Yeah!
do we have any Star Wars news?
It's time for Star Wars news. Well, we have talked about this becoming a regular feature on the show, Star Wars News, and I think the first thing I thought, and people out there might be thinking, is, ugh, I don't want to hear every single little rumor that happens to come across, these movie sites. And I agree.
I agree with you there, Brian.
Yeah, well, and you don't want to overthink stuff, and it becomes you don't care about it anymore. It's not special anymore. So we're only going to touch upon the things that we know are legit and interesting. So in that news, I heard that George Lucas this week had a salad, and it was a Cobb salad.
Oh.
And this week in Star Wars news, Mark Hamill has spoken out and said that George Lucas actually approached he and Carrie Fisher about reprising their roles in the movie, in the episode 7. So,
And this was before the news of the sale, even.
announcement?
Yeah.
yeah, and I think you don't want to overthink it too much, but it seems then that the stories would not branch off into some other, faction of the universe that we're not familiar with, but with the people that we are familiar with.
Right.
So
Now, just to clarify, is this when George Lucas asked him? Is this for the J.J. Abrams movie, or is this like no? Come be in my Star Wars movie, Mark Hamill.
well, my understanding is that this is regarding episode 7.
Okay, so it's not some movie George Lucas is going to shoot in his basement. Just
Right.
No, because he basically got a sense of them being involved before the sale was even announced, because just to let him know that, hey, we are doing more and we want you to be involved, right? I mean, Brian, is that essentially the way it went down?
That's my understanding, yes. And so he's meeting. Mark Hamill's talked about he's going to be meeting with Kathleen Kennedy and Michael Arndt, who's of course writing episode 7. So yeah,
That's kind of
interesting.
Now,
Yeah.
Brian.
Yes, Sean.
Were you involved in any of these meetings?
You know what? I actually had a stethoscope pressed to the wall outside, and so I heard a lot of murmuring, a little bit of laughter, and yeah, not with Lucas and Mark Hamill. This is completely unrelated. This was some other room with different people inside.
So you really don't know anything.
Oh no, I don't.
what else you got, Brian?
That's really it.
Well, there's also there was also John Williams.
The
right?
John Williams. I'm sorry. Yes, the John Williams. in a similar sort of vein, John Williams has said, I guess during a concert he was doing, talked about what I don't remember exactly what the quote. Unfortunately, I don't have it in front of me. But saying that I guess he's going to have to get ready to revisit the Star Wars universe. Seemed like he more or less was saying that he is game for doing another Star Wars film.
Yeah.
And that's interesting because if, people were speculating who would carry the torch, if it's J.J. Abrams, he uses Michael Giacchino
Right.
Yeah.
on all his films. And if you're, obviously everybody, John Williams is a huge percentage of Star Wars.
Right.
Why we love those movies and why they're so resonant. But at the same time, he's not going to be able to do them forever if we're going to continue doing these movies like they're going to do.
Yeah.
And is this the appropriate time to pass the torch?
Yes.
That's interesting because John Williams saying, "Hey, I'm interested," means that they need to. Like you don't push this. You don't say no, thank you to John Williams,
You don't put John Williams in the corner, no.
right? I mean, you just don't do it. You know,
No.
that's Mo Green.
That's a tough
you know?
one.
Yeah.
You know what I think? I think it would be interesting if maybe you let him do this one, and he writes the themes. You know what I mean? He writes, say it's about the Skywalker children, which I don't know what it is. That's a rumor, but have him write the Skywalker children themes, and have him write the whatever themes, and then let people run with those down the line. You know what I mean?
That would be a very interesting collaboration if that were to happen. Him and Giacchino, if that were to happen.
Yeah,
Oh,
if
man.
they do a
If I was
team up, that's
Giacchino,
kind
I'd
of
poop
cool.
myself.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Hans Zimmer-
he would
Hans
too.
Zimmer and James Newton Howard did it.
Oh yeah, right.
Well, and these.
I've always said. Oh, good.
Well, I was saying. I mean, they're Giacchino and John Williams. Their styles are more simpatico.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
very. Yeah. Super 8. The score was pretty much like a John Williams homage.
It's just a riff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I don't mean it in a negative way. I really like that score actually.
Yeah.
But
Right.
yeah.
Right.
I've always said that I've told you guys this. If I become a millionaire, I'm a pretty frugal guy, but there are a handful of stupid things I would spend that money on. One being a DeLorean, 2 being Johnny Five because I just would like to have him in my life, and the third is I would pay John Williams to write Brian's theme.
Brian's theme.
Yeah, I think that would be so awesome.
It would just be the
Have it
Imperial
by John
March.
Williams.
It would be the Imperial March.
Yeah, sure.
I-
I'd take it.
I consider that the Brian's theme. Anyway, that's your ringtone whenever you call me.
Is it really?
Yes.
It used to be Mario.
Yeah, it was Mario, and then they make you like re-download ringtones whenever you change phones.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, well, I don't like you that much to spend the $3 to download the Mario theme again. So now you're nothing, Brian.
I thought it was the Imperial March.
Well, you will be at some point. I say we move on because once I scrape together the $3 to download the Imperial
What
March.
happened?
Okay. New releases out this week, or last week, I should say. It's the one we've been talking about several times on this show. Die Hard with Live Free. No, it's a good day to die hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the question I ask you, was it a good day to die hard?
No.
Yes, it was. It was fine.
Okay, Sean, you first.
It was fine.
Me
first?
We need more. Yes, you first.
Well, I completely understand where the haters are coming from, only to the extent of like why how this doesn't fit in with the other Die Hard movies. It is very different tonally. It's very different. There's not a whole lot to the script. It's probably just like 10 pages of dialogue and 80 pages of explosions.
I think one page that's just Xeroxed a bunch of times.
Boom.
Yeah.
But I wasn't expecting a whole bunch from this movie. Considering the fourth one, which I did like the fourth one, but
Yeah, I like it too. I still like it.
but it's like I think this movie lived up to my expectations, and I sort of checked out early on. I was just like, all right, this is exactly what this movie's gonna be. I'm just gonna be along for the ride, and I had fun. By the end of it, I had fun.
Okay.
I wasn't very hard on it.
Brian, counterpoint?
When this movie was over, my girlfriend was like, "What did you think?" Like on the spot. What did you think? Right away.
Uh-huh.
And I said, as a Die Hard movie, I'd give it a D.
Wow.
But as like a totally generic, random red box Bruce Willis rental, I'd maybe give it like a C.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's. I don't know. It's not to me. Nothing about it made it a Die Hard film aside from Bruce Willis's character's name, and it just felt like all the things. And it's funny because I know a lot of people are tearing this movie apart, and I don't want to be like that. It just gets redundant. But I mean, if I can point out the things that made me feel this way, it's what I like so much about the first one, and even the subsequent movies is it has a strong, interesting villain,
Right.
and this villain sucks.
Yeah.
This villain is whatever. It's hard to not go to spoilers about it, but it's just a
He
terrible
has no
villain.
agenda. Yeah.
No agenda, terrible villain, and it's just a very. There's nothing unique or special to this, and what makes the first Die Hard movie so interesting is there's all these really interesting side characters. You know, you have Al Powell, who's like this disgraced cop, and he's the only one who believes McClane on the outside. And then you've got all this opposition going against that cop, and you got the opposition going against John, and you got his wife in the building, and there's so many things going on. And in this movie, there is nothing. Like, there's just John and his son and a bad guy sometimes, and then it's just like then they're in this building, and then they're in this street, and then I look at my watch, and it's like, oh, this movie's ending in like 15 minutes. There's no layers, there's no outside things that come together. It's just there. If I could put it in like one word, like this movie is completely inconsequential.
Inconsequential. Yeah. Well, I don't disagree with that. I just don't necessarily think that that's necessarily a ding on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not the worst movie of all time, like some people are saying it is.
Well, online I've heard people compare it to Green Lantern. I've heard people compare it to The Phantom Menace.
Way better than those movies.
Well, it's a difference of expectations, I guess, because for me, I think it's interesting, Brian, that you said
it has none of the things we expect from a Die Hard movie, because I feel like as the series has progressed, that list of things has gotten whittled down to one thing, which is Bruce Willis as John McClane.
Right.
And really, it's Bruce Willis as Bruce Willis by this point.
He's he's morphed into just being Bruce Willis. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, by that definition, Cop Out was a Die Hard movie because Bruce Willis had a bad attitude and a smirk in it.
No, but did he say jerk off a lot in the movie?
Pardon?
Did he say jerk off a lot in the movie?
Did he in this one?
If he says jerk off, it makes it a Die Hard movie.
Oh,
I don't even remember.
He does say jerk off a lot in this movie.
Yeah, he says it like 1,000,000 times in this movie.
Yeah. Cop Out is a Kevin Smith movie, so they actually jerk off a lot in that movie. I think that's how that works. For me, I ended up enjoying myself at the end of the day, but it was fully acknowledging how completely ridiculous it is. Mm-hmm. Because it's like a third of the way through, I was like, all right, I'm at a fork in the roads right now, and I can either be miserable when this thing ends, or I can just roll with it and have fun with what it is. And I decided I'd rather just roll with it, because by the time they're like, we have to go to Chernobyl, I'm like, of course you have to go to Chernobyl. You're in Russia. Where else would you go but Chernobyl? There's, you're like Moscow, Chernobyl. It's like Russia, and there's so much stuff. And the plot of the movie has John McClane going to Russia to help his son who's in jail, and we find out really in the trailers that his son is like working for the American government, and he has a whole hidden agenda there. But the plot line is like, he's estranged from his son. He's so estranged from his son that he doesn't know he's in the CIA, which to me is like, how crappy a father are you if you don't know that? How do you not know something like that? But there's this scene where he's talking to like the other, like one of the Russian characters, and the Russian character's like, I was bad father, I did not see daughter, and and John McClane's like, I didn't spend time with my son either, wish I'd been there, like, and he's in exposition mode.
Yeah.
Where he's like, I thought my work was the most important thing, but it turns out my son was. Like, he's, nobody talks like this. But like, John Jr. is, like, around the corner doing stuff. And, of course, he, like, stops just long enough to hear him. And we see that the shot lingers on him as the realization dawns. Like, oh, my dad really does love me. I was like, really?
Yeah. Well, that leads me to... I had an epiphany.
Okay.
I've had a lot of epiphanies this past week.
You have?
Yes, I realized something as I was watching this movie, and this doesn't hold up for the entire movie, but I realized like the first 30, maybe even 40 minutes of this movie, you could completely sub out Bruce Willis and put Kevin James in this role. And it's like, it's a movie that could totally exist. Think of
You're
it this
right.
way, okay? Stick with me.
Wow.
Okay.
Come along with me. So the movie starts off where you got this father who's talking nervously to his daughter, like, I don't know where my son is. I got to figure out where he is. So again, Kevin James just like, I don't know. Geez, I got to find my son, right? I'm going to go, right? And good luck, Dad. So flies to Russia, and he's like, I think he's over here, right? But then, the son's in the middle of some huge, important CIA extraction, and it's like, hey, son, I'm over here. And then, this big explosion goes off, and he is like in the way. He's a stumbling block, a bumbling stumbling block. Again, picture Kevin James. This totally works.
Yep.
And then when the son is like, geez, Dad, taking his extraction, and he drives off, and this high-speed pursuit happens. What does the character do? He like commandeers a car and is like, "Wait up, son!" And he gets involved in this like high-speed chase, like wrecking everything that he comes across. And it's like, again, this is like a total like Happy Madison movie. Like, hold up, son, hold up, as he like goes through Russia. And then eventually when he catches up with his son's like, oh, geez, Dad, get away from me, huh? Then he has that moment that you just talked about where it's like, oh, the McClane character, I was never around for my son. Ah, geez. And then the Russian guy just like, oh, I bad father too, eh? And then
In communist Russia.
Right. And the son comes around, and it becomes like this TGIF like sitcom style thing where the son overhears him talking about being a bad dad, and the camera pushes in. You can almost hear the audience going, oh. That was when I realized, like, what.
Well,
I want to defend the movie for a second. There's so many things that you can so many things that you can rag on, and things that would have made it better. But I feel somebody needs to defend the movie. For me, personally, knowing the director John Moore, coming from this very sort of high CG video game kind of background, like. And thinking of it, this is exactly what the movie played out as. Like, Brian, you said it's like a Kevin James. It could have been a Kevin James movie. Like, I saw it as more like, I'm basically like playing GoldenEye. Like, I am American cop John McClane in Russia, and boom, this courthouse blows up, and then I meet my son, and now it's the car chase level. And then we go to this banquet hall, and it's this shootout level. And then, we got to get to the safe house. And then, the safe house is compromised.
And then there's the Chernobyl level.
And then we got to go to Chernobyl, and then it's the big
right.
finale.
That's exactly what it's like. And that's okay. Like, if you're going to make that video game movie, you're going to make a Call of Duty movie or something, like, go for it. But, like, what I like about the first few films, like the layers and the interesting characters and the
totally not there.
The conflict.
Right.
I miss those things. And if I'm going to see something with Die Hard in the title, I would like to have those things. Like, I have certain expectations.
Well, one thing I'd like to say, and this has been a common critique. Like, where is that the everyman of the first movie? The one who's in over his head, who's just hopelessly outclassed and outnumbered, and he's trying. And here's my response to that. Wait, Brian, how many terrorist incidents have you been caught up in your lifetime?
0.
Okay. How many do you expect to be caught up in your lifetime?
I'm planning on 0.
Okay. There you go. So John McClane now has been involved in 5, which is 5 more than most people, right? So if that doesn't change you, like after the first one, you know what I mean? Like think about this. The first thing happens for most people. That's your highlight of your life. You're like, I was in this thing, I was in this building, it's freaking crazy. And then like a year later, he's fighting a dude on an airplane wing.
Yep.
Right?
It's true.
And then like 5 years later, he stops the infrastructure of America from collapsing. I mean, you know what I mean? And then 10 years later, it's like, oh yeah, this guy is hacking the computer infrastructure. I mean, you know what I mean? My point is that at some point, you're not that everyman guy who's caught up in stuff over your head. You're in it.
Yeah.
So his attitude is totally consistent, if you ask me, with how he should be at this point.
You know what? That's a very good point. That's a very good point. I will say though, there was a moment in the movie that I did like that sort of gave me a glimpse into what I was hoping for more of. But it was a good moment where the John McClane and his son Jack are having this heart-to-heart, And John is like, why are you doing this to Jack? Why are you enduring all this? And
Yeah.
Jack says something to the effect of like, someone's got to stop these bad guys. Like, I have no choice. Like, I have to do this.
Yeah.
And Bruce Willis, as John McClane, of course, kind of has this little knowing look on his face where it's like, well, yeah. I mean, that's what he was in the first one. In the first movie, he could have called the cops and ran, but instead he's like, no, my wife's in here. These people are in here.
Right.
I have no choice. This is my duty to do this. And so that was a pretty cool father-son moment for that character. I just wish the rest of the movie had lived up to that.
Yeah.
That
Well,
moment.
I think Zachy was touching on it, like, and you've mentioned this on a previous episode as well. Assuming that Bruce Willis, assuming they do a part 6, because Bruce Willis has said that he wants to do number 6 and that's it, right?
Yeah.
Like, and this is what you said, Zachy. Like, you're going to have the young John McClane trilogy and the old John McClane trilogy.
Right.
And I'm perfectly okay with, like, the young John McClane trilogy is what I remember and what I'm more attached to. And it's more grounded in reality. And each movie ends with him, like, beaten and bloody and barely able to stand. But then there's, like, a joke from a side character, and then you roll the anamorphic credits and play the Dean Martin music.
Yeah.
And with, with the old John McClane trilogy, like, he's impervious to everything. And
Yeah. Well, he's a cyborg.
yeah, he's
Why
a
not?
cyborg, and then
Yeah.
cue the classic rock, and I'm okay with it. Like, I'm rationalizing it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, and to your point, I mean, that's the one thing that bothered me about the last one. It bothers me about this one. He takes so much physical punishment in this movie.
Yeah.
There's the car chase. Actually, even before the actual car chase happens, he needs a car, right? So he like gets in the middle of a road.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
guy plows into him. Right, and he flies back, and then this Russian guy gets out of the car, and he's like, blah, 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 right? And McClane clocks this guy in the face, and he's like, "You
Yeah.
think I know what the hell you're saying?" And it's like, yes, he would think he know, you know what he's saying. Why would he think you're an American in Russia? Like, why? You know what I mean?
I know. I was like, I thought it was a bad move for the character because he comes across like a sociopath right there. Like this, of course, the guy's yelling at you. Like you jumped in front of his car like a moron. You know what I mean? Like
He's Jack Bauer in this movie. He becomes Jack Bauer. He's not John McClane. He's Jack Bauer. Just does whatever the hell he wants to.
well, it's funny because but I mean, and then he gets in the car and then he drives over other cars.
Oh,
Well, he
Yeah.
killed several
likely
people, I'm
killing
sure.
several
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just completely wrecks all this havoc, just trying to catch up. Son.
Well, and then the car crashes and it flips over about 537 times.
Yeah,
And he kind of like he like shrugs it off, you know?
Yeah.
right. Right.
Again,
With that in mind, let's talk about the action, the direction.
okay.
I
Yeah.
did think I've heard a lot. Every review I've read, and I've read quite a few, have criticized the opening car chase as being completely incomprehensible, impossible to follow, shot like garbage.
No,
and
I disagree.
I'll say personally, I don't entirely agree with that. I
Yeah.
feel like when I think of that, I think of the opening of Quantum of Solace.
Oh,
Yes.
Where all I remember is a blur of colors, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's not filmmaking.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
with this one, I didn't feel like it was shot so bad. I didn't really like the way it was edited. I did
Yeah.
think it was incomprehensibly edited, but it didn't. I could see things. You know what I mean? But and it looked, from as far as I could tell, it was a lot of practical action, which I really appreciate. Like there's
Yes.
a lot of really impressive car smashes, and like there's this
Yes.
part where a taxi
Yeah.
gets like smashed and flips up and hits this like bridge and falls back down. I mean, that stuff was pretty cool. I'll give it that. And then, there's even like I don't know if it was intended as a callback. It had to be, I assume. But there's a part where they use glass against the villains, and I thought that actually was pretty clever and kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, and actually, there's another callback to the first one. I'm pretty sure it is when we see the bad guy getting dispatched.
Right.
And without revealing it, I mean, if you remember in the first movie, the way we see Hans Gruber, like when he falls to his death, it seemed like they were trying very hard to mirror that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Which, if nothing else, I was like, I mean, there was a dint of recognition for me at the very least with that.
I had a lot of those moments with specifically about the directing, where I was like, all right, like I understand what you were going for there. Like
Yeah.
I appreciated like going back to the car chase. There was a moment where the camera is like on a follow truck, and it zoomed really close into this one truck, and then it zooms out and accelerates forward, and then zooms into the car that's being chased. And I was like, oh, that's cool. It's like showing you the environment, and it's sort of like you get to place where everybody is. And then there was also the sequence. McClane and his kid have to. They're like in that banquet hall, and there's a helicopter shooting at them from outside, and they have to run. It's basically like they run and they jump out this window, and like the camera like tracks with them and follows them, and then whips around and then all of a sudden you're behind them. And it's like the environment was there. Like you saw the helicopter and the window back there, and there's like the obvious CG bullets flying around. But like there was that, intent of showing that these characters are really in danger in this environment. Like that, any other director, or a lot of other directors rather, would have done, just a bunch of hypercutting like Michael Bay. And you just like, it happened so fast that you're just like, oh, okay, I believe it. But like, I think he did. I mean, a lot of it was way too video gamey and CG, which is just sort of what things have become. But also a scene near the end of the movie when like this helicopter gets shot at and it's kind of out of control, and basically the tail rudder is like sawing off the top of this building, and it's happening.
That was really cool.
It's happening in slow motion, and Jai Courtney is in the foreground, and he's running, and like there's all this like bits of debris whipping past him and stuff like that. I'm like, that's kind of cool. Like you're showing, you're putting this guy in the danger, and I'm like, I'm seeing it. And it wasn't, composition wise and effects wise, it wasn't always 100%. But like, I was like, yeah, I appreciate that he's at least, thinking that way.
Yeah. For me, I've said this in earlier episodes. I say this all the time. I think to some extent I'm an easy mark when it comes to a John McClane movie.
Yeah.
And, for me, and I wrote this in my review, same thing, that we're now at a point where John McClane is just a movie icon. They put out a new bunch of DVDs, and what does it say? It says Bruce Willis is John McClane in Die Hard. Bruce Willis is John McClane in Die Hard 2. Like, he's become that character. And so to me, we're at the fifth Die Hard. At this point, it's less about the story than it is about just hanging out with this character again.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like the Deadpool. That's the fifth Dirty Harry, and by then the story sucks. But you're like, oh, I want to see Dirty Harry again.
Right,
it's like
right.
Rocky V, which is the worst Rocky. But you're like, well, I get to see Rocky again. It's like Star Trek V. It's the worst Star Trek, but you get to see Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock. And I think that's Die Hard 5 for me. It's my fifth favorite of the five. You know, but I'll still watch it because it's John McClane. So that's kind of where I am. I don't know.
Yeah, I had a friend on Facebook cleverly put it: Die Hard 5 makes Die Hard 4 look like Die Hard 3.
That's really funny.
I was like, yeah.
There you go. Enough said.
I have softened on that movie
really
a little
funny.
bit now.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, and I haven't seen Die Hard 4 like since it came out. So I actually would
really?
I saw it in the theater.
It's on TV every now and then.
Yeah, it's always on TV.
Yeah, I've actually managed to miss it pretty much every time. So I would actually like to rewatch it again. And I wonder if one were to do a marathon viewing, if Die Hard 5 would improve or weaken if one were to just watch.
I wonder. Well, they did that, at AMC or something like that. Yeah. I wonder what that would be like if you'd be like, oh wow, like comparably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very, or would it be a slow? Because I mean, there isn't that much difference between 4 and 5 in terms of how the characters portrayed and the stunts and whatnot. He takes out a helicopter with a car.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, that's not that removed from what we saw in this one.
I did feel like there was much more going on though in 4. I mean, even though a lot of it was silly.
Yeah.
Like there was misdirection and Timothy Olyphant wasn't great, but at least he was memorable, for one reason or another.
And he's a good actor in his own right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, certainly. And even what's her name, Maggie Q.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean?
That
Like,
sequence was pretty cool.
there's that awesome. I mean, I just felt like this movie was sort of like what Sean was saying, where it was just level, next level, and there was just not really much more to it than that.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you guys. It's in the back of their mind at Fox. do you see this as something that Jay Courtney would carry on?
You know, I got nothing against the guy. Like, there's nothing.
I actually
wrong
liked him
with
in this.
him.
I did like
but
him in this.
I don't find him engaging in any way.
Yeah. And there's no point to continue the series without Bruce Willis.
I would agree.
He looks like if you were to like have like a very generic like G.I. Joe that's not based on a character, you know, it's just like Joe America.
Yeah.
Like it would look like him. You know what I mean? Like just like okay. You know what I mean? Like nothing super distinguishing that.
I have to give him props for a flawless American accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
was he Australian or something?
He's no Gerard Butler as far as his ability to create an American accent.
I speak American just fine. No, you don't, Gerard. No, you don't.
Yeah, I heard Jay Courtney in the press junket, and at that point I realized I was like, oh my gosh, he's foreign. I didn't know that until much later. But I did like him in the movie though. I thought he was just fine. But like you said, I mean, I'm not interested in seeing John McClane Jr. Be the star of the series.
Yeah.
I hope that if they do end up doing a part 6, which I hope they do only for the reason of I hope that they can just put a nice final stamp on McClane's character.
Right.
You know, whether he gets killed or whether he retires or what.
It should be
I hope it's
dead.
just one final.
Dead hard. Dead hard.
He died hard.
The end.
The end.
And then the Christmas music plays.
Yeah, jingle bell, jingle.
So Brian, so we got to get into the nitty gritty with Die Hard 5, and I understand you've prepared a quiz on the other Die Hard franchise entries.
Oh.
Guys, I hope you brought your thinking caps because I know you guys. This is the thing. You guys, it's very hard to come up with quiz questions for you guys because I know you're going to be able to answer all of them. So I tried to be as fair as possible, but I tried to make this a little challenging. So hopefully the viewers or the listeners rather can play along.
Okay.
Let's do a
Bring
Die
it.
Hard quiz.
So
Bring it
what should our avatars be this time?
Okay, yeah, we need avatars. This is like secretly my favorite part.
How about Die Hard supporting characters?
Okay.
Argyle.
I'm gonna be Jesus or just Zeus.
Zeus?
Why the hell you
Okay.
keep calling me Jesus? I look Puerto Rican to you.
What Die Hard side character would you be able to pick from Die Hard 5 besides the son?
Besides
None of
this,
Because there aren't any? Okay. Ready? Question the
wow,
first.
that's hilarious, dude. Totally. Other than
Right.
that's
Cole,
it.
Cole Hauser for about 6 seconds.
It feels like. All right, no, we're done. We're done reviewing Die Hard.
Fellow New York cop in beginning who.
Yeah, right. Okay, Die Hard quiz. Question 1.
All right.
The original Die Hard is based on what novel by Roderick Thorpe?
Argyle.
of the novel.
Life of Pi.
It's a
Wait,
sentence.
you have to say your avatar. You have to do it.
Zeus.
Okay.
It's
exactly.
never say never.
Never
again.
Life of Pi.
Never. Wait. It sounds like a James Bond movie.
It does.
Nothing lasts forever.
Whoa, ding, ding, ding. That's
Ah.
That is what it is.
it. It is.
Oh, good.
Nothing Lasts Forever by Roderick Thorpe. That's what Die Hard is based on, the book.
Nice.
Question 2.
Yes.
Nothing Lasts Forever is the sequel to another book called The Detective, which was adapted into a film in 1968. Because of this, the lead actor from that film, The Detective, was offered the role of John McClane in Die Hard as a courtesy. Who was that actor?
Oh, wow. Wait.
He played the John McClane equivalent in the film The Detective in 1968.
So in the book, it's not John McClane.
I believe he has a different last name,
Okay.
which I don't have in front of
I
me.
know Clint Eastwood was their first choice for John McClane. But 68.
Does it sound like I'm ordering a pizza? Is that what
I'm trying to eat.
Oh, wait! What was the movie?
What's
68?
your avatar? Oh, the detective.
Oh, Argyle.
Argyle.
Frank Sinatra.
That is correct.
Wow.
Boom.
How did you know
Frank?
that?
It's just one of those weird,
Cosmic.
yeah, like
Have you guys seen have either of you guys seen The Detective?
yeah.
No, I didn't
saw
even know it
in,
existed.
Back at COD, that was a movie we watched in like a film is lit kind of class.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
COD, by the way, it's College of DuPage for people
It's
who...
where we all met.
Yeah.
College of-
Sha-la-la-la.
People would be
right.
like, cash on delivery. What the hell?
Okay, question 3. Die Hard
Eh.
was supposed to be originally was going to be a sequel to which Arnold Schwarzenegger movie?
Oh, Zeus.
Okay. Oh,
Zeus.
damn it.
Zaki.
Commando.
Oh, you suck.
That's good. Very good.
Can you imagine that? Like, so the premise would be exactly the same.
Well, you know, the book Nothing Lasts Forever is instead of a wife, it's the daughter.
Right.
So the daughter gets kidnapped again.
I guess. Yeah, listen.
Jenny, I have to rescue her. Yippee-ki-yay!
Yeah. So Die Hard could have had a scene where John McClane is feeding a deer.
Yippee-ki-yay!
It's one of my favorite moments of all time. Okay.
When he's feeding the deer.
Feed the deer with his daughter. Like, see, this is how you feed a deer.
Jenny. It would have been Chan Matrix instead of Chan McClane.
Yeah. Show the deer kindness. It'll show kindness to you in return.
See, that's the weird
Okay.
thing, though, because it would be Hans and John Matrix, and they would both have a German/Austrian accent.
Yeah. That would be awesome. Listening to, what's his name? Alan
Rickman.
Rickman.
Oh, Rickman.
And Schwarzenegger going back and forth. That'd be soothing on the ear.
I would love the scene. It would be the scene remember when Hans is pretending he's one of the,
Bill Clay.
yeah, Bill Clay.
Bill.
Oh
Clay.
God, you're one of them. You're one of them.
No bullets, Hans. Well, you think I'm effing stupid? Oh, God, the movie writes itself. We missed
By the
out.
way, is it a huge plot hole that think of it, Die Hard 1? Hans and all the terrorists would have been able to hear John McClane's entire conversation with Al Powell, right?
Well, they do hear it.
Yeah.
But like it's like you just think of it, it's never really acknowledged. So it's like, was there ever a deleted scene where like it's just all the terrorists just like
Listening.
sitting around the walkie-talkie?
Shh.
Oh my gosh, did you hear that? He shot a kid.
How tragic! Oh no. We should make a
question-
deleted scene. We'll do that.
We
Okay.
should make our own.
We'll get on it. Okay, question 4. Which one of the 5 Die Hard films was the only one conceived specifically as a Die Hard film and not adapted from a previous
Zeus.
work?
I know this. Zeus.
Zaki.
It is the 5th one, the current one.
Which the title is what?
That would be a Time to Die Hard. No,
Frequently? Yes, that's it.
Good Day to Die
Die Hard,
Oh.
yes. Because Die Hard was, like we said, based on Nothing Lasts Forever, a novel. Die Hard 2, Die Harder, was based on a novel called 58 Minutes by Walter Wager, or Wager. Die Hard with a Vengeance was based on a spec script called Simon Says.
That's right.
And apparently, according to the author of that script, the first hour of that movie didn't change at all. Not one
Wow.
word, except for changing the names of the characters.
That's right.
Wow.
It's written by Jonathan Hensley, by the way, who he became like the go-to guy for Bruckheimer. He wrote Armageddon,
Right.
and he directed The Punisher with Tom Jane.
Oh wow! And also I should say about Die Hard with a Vengeance, it was considered to be the third sequel to Lethal Weapon at one time.
Oh, wow.
So it would have been Riggs and Murtaugh running around trying to figure out how to put water into a jug.
Well, and the interesting thing about that is that from what I read, originally they were developing a Die Hard 3 that would have been on a cruise ship.
Oh,
But they didn't because
Sandra Bullock.
well, no, well, no. The Under Siege happened, and that's why they didn't do the cruise ship one.
right.
So-
Okay, well, even though it looks like Zaki's going to win this one, just because of the numbers game,
Pride.
I didn't
Playing
write
for
the
pride.
rules.
Pride points.
let's do the fifth question anyway here.
Yeah.
Ready? One of my favorite Rack Focus moments ever is the clever reveal when Al Pal shoots down the final bad guy in the steps of Nakatomi. There you go. Now you know something about me. The music cue from that moment was not written for this film. Was not written for Die Hard 1, but it was actually an unused track from what Academy Award nominated score?
Argyle.
Sean.
Only because Zachy told me this once before, and it always stuck with me. That was actually an unused track from Aliens.
That is correct, which is another Fox film.
Yes. So well, I give Zachy credit for that because he's the one who told me that a long time ago.
Thank you. I
Well,
did.
there you go. Very interesting. So, well, I actually had a tiebreaker just in case there was a tie. So let's just see if you guys can get it just for fun because I wrote it down.
Sure.
What is my favorite line from Die Hard 1?
Yippee-ki-yay.
This is Christmas music.
Nope.
Now I have a machine gun.
Ho, ho, ho.
That is correct.
Really? That's the one?
Teamwork.
Never gets old.
Teamwork.
You know, Alan Rickman is so awesome in that movie.
Oh,
Yes.
so awesome.
I think, you know, what you were talking about earlier about how the villain in the new one, I think the problem partially is that they never again matched how awesome he is.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
even you know, I would say like probably Simon in the third
Yeah,
one is
Jeremy Irons
maybe
is
the second best villain.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that, even though Jeremy Irons obviously has that awesome voice, but it's
Yeah.
also the concept. There was a cool
Right.
concept for the
Exactly.
villain in that
Yeah.
film,
Yeah.
which I think helped.
I mean, I put it on Facebook a couple months ago where I was like, and it's a total generational divide. When you think of Alan Rickman, do you think of Hans Gruber or Snape?
Right.
And just seeing the way people responded, it's like a lot of people are like, "Who's Hans Gruber?"
Funny.
So I defriended them. We keeping you up there, Brian?
Sorry, pardon me. I came straight from work to here. I apologize.
Okay, so was that it, Brian?
That's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
good
The
job,
winner
Zachy.
this week is Zachy.
That's
Good
right.
job. I think that's
Or Zeus.
I think that's 2 episodes in a row.
Nice. Yeah. So you bet
2
you
wins
best
in a row.
you'd best change that leaderboard, son.
I was going to say, ever since Sean made that awesome leaderboard graphic that's on moviefilmpodcast.com, I have felt compelled to do better in these quizzes because I want to see my position change.
Yeah.
I will. I'll update that probably Tuesday, so I don't spoil anything for the
Yeah.
the people who keep track of that.
Yeah. You'd best recognize. All right. So. Wow.
All
Awkward
right.
silence. Awkward silence. That's nice. Okay. So that about wraps things up for this episode of the Movie Film Show. I think we packed a lot of discussion on Die Hard into a relatively short amount of time. So
Yeah.
this is fun. I'm glad I got to do this.
Me too.
Even if we didn't like the movie necessarily, although I honestly, you know what, in keeping with our show, I give it a thumbs up with an asterisk.
With an there we go.
You agree, Sean?
Yes, thumbs up with an asterisk.
All right.
you go.
All right. I say you want to rent this on a Redbox when you don't know what else to rent. I don't think you could do worse, but I'm afraid I'm actually going to go thumbs down.
Okay, all right.
Hmm.
All right.
All right.
All right, my man.
Okay, so Brian, where can people find you on the internet?
At everythingbrian.blogspot.com, Brian with an I.
And Sean, how about you?
Moosehub.com and MrBoyProductions.com is where you can find all of us. And then there's the moviefilmpodcast.com.
Nice.
God,
And
how many websites do we have?
and that's Movie Film Podcast, not the Movie Film Podcast.
Correct. Moviefilmpodcast.com.
And of course, you can find me at ZakisCorner.com. That's ZAKIS Corner.com, as well as on the Huffington Post. My review of Die Hard 5 is up, and you can see me reflecting some of the things I talked about in our conversation here. But you can read it in a more verbose and literary fashion on the web. So do that. Oh,
Do. I'm glad we all caught that.
Yes.
My fellow 30-year-old friends.
You can also find us on Facebook. Please check out our Facebook page. Hit like. It is facebook.com/moviefilmpodcast. Also, go to iTunes and write us a review. Rank us on there. I ask every week, and I will keep asking because you're not doing it enough. So please make that happen. Yeah.
Lazy bums.
That's right. We'll have plenty more to talk about in 2 weeks. I'm sure we'll be discussing the Oscars as well as other new releases. I'll be able to talk about Jack the Giant Slayer, which I'm seeing in a few days, and that looks all kinds of awesome. He said,
Now, is
sarcastic.
it Jack the Giant Slayer or Jack the Giant Slayer? Is Jack Giant or is it just Giant? Is he a giant slayer or does he slay giants?
Well, we will know in next week's episode.
I must know.
Well, you're going to have to wait, just like everyone else. So we'll see how that goes.
Looking forward to you taking that bullet for us, Zachy.
Yes, it's what I do. That's where I'm a Viking. I watch, so you don't have to. So let's see how that goes. That's it for the Movie Film Podcast. We will see you in 2 weeks. Thanks for listening.
Welcome, friends.